Well, we normally should have figured out who's bringing us in, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Those Two Geeks. My name's Alex, his name's Joe, and as promised, we have the esteemed Matthew Klein back with us.
Oh boy, the esteemed?
Well, it's the first word that came to mind. I mean, I could say something worse if you want.
No, just as somebody who's had crippling self-esteem his whole life, that's really sweet of you guys. So thank you.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure for us to chat with you on and off. I say camera, but it's not camera. So either way, before we go into the inevitable wrestling talk, Matthew is the author of The Fantastic Crashing.
Guilty.
Yeah, it's a great book. I would highly recommend anyone pick up. You can find the trade from IDW at your local comic shop. I would assume most bookstores would carry it too.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah. So, and I all of a sudden feel horrifically guilty because I can't remember the name of your webcomic, and I really enjoy said webcomic. And now I'm desperately trying to find time to go back to our last show that we recorded, but that's just far enough away that it's awkwardly me filling time, and I can hear Joe silently laughing at me.
Listen, first of all, I really appreciate that you actually read it, Alex, and enjoyed it. So it's called, I have two webcomics. They both follow a private investigator named Mason Rhyme. The first case is No Rhyme or Reason, and the most recent case he did is called The Rhyme Scheme. And I actually just sent off the next one to the artist this week called Sight Rhyme. It's going to be a nice, fun sort of trilogy that we're doing. So yeah, it's free. You can read it on Tapas. It's 10 parts. It takes about 2 minutes to read each part. So if you want a little mental health break with some fun, pulpy detective stories, definitely go check it out.
Yeah, and as always, we've included the link to the webcomic in the show, or I will because I haven't done it yet, but the webcomic link will be included in the show notes. And you can find all of Matthew's, I don't know, is it Twitter, X, whatever? Are you on Threads yet?
Twix. We call it Twix now.
Twix. Yeah, so his Twix handle, now you're making me want a chocolate bar, so thank you.
You're very welcome. At Matthew Klein 316 on Twix, and you can find me at MacTheKnife1116 on Instagram. I am also at Matthew Klein 316 on Blue Sky, if anybody's still going on there as well.
It's funny, I've been trying to get on there for a while, then realized that I don't see anyone pushing people toward Blue Sky, so I now don't use Twitter or Threads.
It's kind of had its moment. It's sort of like that and Threads both sort of had a moment. I think people are still on Threads, but I just haven't done it yet. I'm also on TikTok, though, at Matthew Klein 316, where you can find lots of fun wrestling, food, and comics content as well.
I also would be remiss in not making note that Matthew has finally joined us and having an animal on the show. You can hear Rogue in the background every so often.
Indeed, she's commentating on my performance.
Yeah, so without further ado, I don't really have anything to say other than today, the 18th of November, is AEW Full Gear Show.
It's my first time as a 37-year-old that I'm doing a podcast, so I'm very excited.
Happy belated birthday, because I was unaware it was your birthday recently. I wouldn't have sent you anything other than a happy birthday, but I was unaware it was your birthday.
No, yeah. I appreciate it. Listen, I didn't send me anything for my birthday either, although we did randomly, hilariously. So my partner Lauren works for Town and Country magazine, and she writes like food and wine and about the Royals, and every now and then, especially during holiday season, we will sometimes get a fun package from people who want to get her to sample stuff. And on my birthday, we got a dozen cupcakes from a place called Georgetown Cupcake in DC. And so the world just wanted me to have cake on my birthday.
That is fantastic.
It was a once in a lifetime confluence of factors, and I needed to get it out there. People must know that I have some luck some of the time.
Well, hopefully your luck continues.
Indeed.
And you get more cake and or steak, because cake and steak are the first two words I could think of that rhyme together, if I'm totally honest.
Believe it or not, we actually got a box of meat last month as well. So there you go.
Yeah, that's arguably better than the package I got. Well, maybe not. Anyway.
So today we have a lot to cover.
We do.
And we have to be quick about it because our friend Joe is an important man. And
he is.
Right.
He has a tight time limit, and we're already way over what we said we'd do. So
it's all right. We can do this. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, good. I felt like Boston Brand for a few moments there with the cake and the steak and all that stuff. I'm like, what's going on? No one can hear me.
Are you kidding? You are Joe. You are Indiana Joe Jones today on the hunt. So
I like
thank you for calling in from your latest mission, Joe.
Yeah. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do your own show. You know, hey, I aim to please. But speaking of said busy schedule, as Alice would say, let's roll into the I'll be honest. I watched just to get hyped up. I watched Collision last night, and I think that might have been a bit of a mistake. So.
No.
I didn't watch it last night. I just caught the results, and there's a couple of things I'm interested in seeing, but ultimately beyond that,
very lame for a go home show. Very, very lame.
I feel like Dynamite was the go home show more than anything, because I feel like they're going to do as many things on the Friday before.
Yeah, but
they're taping Rampage at the same time.
Rampage is such a waste. But yeah, let's go into the show so we can get them going.
All right, this is for Full Gear 2023. Just so you know, I was at Full Gear last year in New Jersey.
I was going to ask if you were going this year, but I realized if you were, you would probably be there already, and it would be about 6 a.m. for you. So
Matthew, are you going to World's End?
I'm debating, actually. I am debating.
I am too. Are tickets still there? Are tickets still open?
Oh yeah, tickets. They've got like 3,000 tickets left to sell, and if they sell through, they'll just open up more seats. So they've definitely got tickets.
Because maybe you and I should talk off mic, because I might be.
We can have a conversation.
Yeah, we'll have the conversation. But all right, Alice, what's our first match?
All right, first match-a-roo is Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal. The random number generator, random coin flip tactic that we have has Jay Lethal going over Eddie Kingston. I disagree. I think Eddie's going to withhold.
I disagree. I say Eddie's going to keep it. And I'll be honest, I completely forgot he was a double champion. I just until right now. So, I'd say Eddie keeps it. No other reason other than it's not time for him to drop it yet. Jay Lethal, it's not going to happen. Eddie Kingston keeps it.
Eddie Kingston keeps it until Final Battle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a banger of a match, but I don't see Eddie Kingston dropping it yet.
No.
I just can't wait for Jeff Jarrett to take the ROH title at Final Battle, because that's what's going to happen.
I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely see that happening. Yeah.
That's why Jeff got the win.
Yes. Jeff is good at that, too. He's a heat vacuum, and he likes to take those wins. So, but yeah, okay. So we're all in alignment here, with the exception of the coin.
Yeah. The next match on the pre-card is MJF and presumably Samoa Joe versus the Guns for the Ring of Honor tag belts.
I want Guns take it.
See, I have MJF taking this. Just because I feel that unless Samoa Joe walks away completely, I can't see the Guns taking down Samoa Joe.
Yeah, not only that, I just would weaken MJF going into the main event,
which is arguably what you would want. A weaker MJF going in is like, he's been beaten down a lot, but I just feel that Samoa Joe winning would give him more leverage over MJF for a title shot down the road. I think you're building Samoa Joe and MJF.
So
Yeah.
I
Building
think,
that feud from this.
I think this is all about I think you're working on two stories at once here, which is very exciting. But
Mhm.
I wonder if there are two ways to do this, right? If Samoa Joe turns on MJF and costs him the ROH tag titles, then MJF wants revenge on Joe and gives Joe a match at World's End regardless, right?
Yeah.
If Samoa Joe helps him, he goes, well, I was your friend. Now give me a match out of friendship and loyalty. You can also play it that way. If MJF loses the ROH tag titles, though, because of Joe, or just in general, then it makes a vibe that Jay White could actually win later in the night. And that's the thing that they haven't been able to do, is make anybody believe Jay White's going to take this world title at this point in time. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be why from a storytelling perspective, I want the Guns to win it. Also, just you need to get those ROH titles off of MJF, because what the hell are they doing there at this point?
Yeah, I feel like at this point MJF and Adam Cole would have had some good matches. However, given his injury, you're right, they do need to take them away from him at some point.
Well, how long is Adam Cole out for?
I mean, probably until next year at this point. Like the man got a whole bunch of metal put in his ankle, and ankles are notoriously slow to heal. I mean, AJ Styles was out 6 months, Punk was out months with their ankles injuries. It's probably gonna be until either he might do a run in at World's End, or probably not until 2024 and leave him on the card till then.
Imagine if he did a run in and broke the other ankle.
Unfortunately, as fragile as he's been, I can imagine that.
God, you know how horrible that would be, because that's how he did it. He did it on just a tiny run in on Dynamite. Like, oh my God. Dynamite.
That's how ankle injuries work.
Mhm.
Athena tore her Achilles tendon running through the backstage in a segment. Like, it's how it goes.
So my whole thing is, I think he keeps it because I think he's made such a what's it called? A thing of
A big deal.
Titles for Adam. You know what I mean? And my idea is, I think Adam Cole is the man in the devil mask.
That could be cool. Adam Cole as the devil mask would be great. And that's the thing. We didn't even talk about that angle. The devil could cost him the titles on this. It doesn't have to be Samoa Joe.
Right, exactly. So we'll see. I still say he keeps them. I still say there's a lot of steam with him even doing it solo. So I'm going to go with MJF. I'm going with MJF, on this one.
So am I the only ones taking the Guns?
No, the coin took the Guns too. So
all right, it's me and the coin.
I actually agree with everything you said, Matthew. That I feel that the Guns winning would. I'm not switching my pick. Like, I think the Guns winning would make a really interesting story for Jay. He doesn't if he doesn't win tonight. Like, I think the Guns being champions and not Jay White would be a really interesting dynamic between the group going forward.
Absolutely.
What would be amazing is the Guns never winning anything. That would be fabulous.
Well, see, this is one of those stories and outcomes. I genuinely am happy no matter how it comes out.
Okay,
I think
right.
There's plenty of storytelling options regardless of how it works. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the position you want to be in.
Oh, absolutely. Like, the fact that there's been, of all the matches so far, it can go either way, and I think it's either way is a great choice. So next match is Claudio Castagnoli versus Buddy Matthews. I think this is going to be a banger.
It's going to be a banger for sure. And I was thinking something along these lines when I watched it last night. Just watching Collision. Buddy Matthews is so underrated.
Mm-hmm.
And for that matter, so is Malachi Black. What is he doing not in a world title program? Honestly,
he's always hurt.
I know, but Tommy End needs to be in a world title program, or at least a TNT title program. He's got to be in something. But this one's tough. I'm going to go Claudio.
I'm going to go Buddy on this one. I think that Claudia is already established and they need to build some new stars, and this doesn't have any actual stakes on it, so it's a good one where Buddy could actually get some shine and do something here.
I actually think, not for that reason, but Claudia has been on a bit of a singles losing streak lately. And I think this is a way to further that against a credible opponent in Buddy Matthews, who took down Wheeler Yuta.
Oh my god.
And I feel
this feels like the random, like, throw two guys that can work together kind of deal that like WCW used to do on a pay-per-view, of
Correct.
an unannounced cold pay-per-view match between two really good workers who are just going to put on a show.
Agreed. And I think you can build a story out of whatever they come out with. I think Buddy Matthews is going to take this, and we'll get into why later, but I think Buddy Matthews is going to walk away with a very hard fought win on this one.
Somebody in House of Black needs to win tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That you can't have the House of Black losing 3 matches.
Exactly.
Correct. Good call. Okay, so Buddy Matthews. I'm still going to say Claudio.
Yeah, no, go for it. This is one of the first times we're only 3 matches deep and we finally disagreed on something. Like all of us, none of us have the same picks at this point.
I like it.
Coin went with Buddy too. Shida and Storm.
Oh god.
I think Shida. I think it makes more sense for Shida to walk away with it than Toni Storm.
I'm gonna go with Toni Storm. She is absolutely annihilating this timeless gimmick. A gimmick that shouldn't work at all. She needs something. Shida's boring, man. She is beyond.
So
boring.
I don't agree. Like, Shida is not my favorite part of any show whenever she's on. However, I think Toni Storm will get over more with a loss. And,
really?
Oh yeah. Like, I think Toni Storm can descend into madness with a loss even more and make her that much more compelling. Whereas I think if Shida wins and Storm loses, you end up pushing both of them in their respective directions. Whereas if Storm takes it, it doesn't do anything for Shida, and then inevitably you're going to have Storm. Is a timeless gimmick going to come to an end? I hope not.
No,
because
please no.
Right, like, I'm really enjoying it. So I think, like, her breakdown, as it were, into the timeless gimmick from where she was almost needs another loss at this stage, and then maybe she goes and takes and aims for the TBS title to turn it into the Turner Classic Movies thing or something.
Well, I like that, where she gets it from Statlander. Ooh, I like that. That makes a lot of sense. All the tie-ins you can do with the TBS title too. Damn. Okay. All right. Look at you, sensible booking, Alex. I like it. What do you think, Matthew?
I'm gonna go with Shida. I agree with Alex that Toni doesn't need a title. Toni needs to continue going crazy and just upping this gimmick. And I think Toni loses the title thanks to Mariah May.
Oh, that's right. She's going to debut.
I think Mariah May will come in and try to help Toni and end up costing her the belt. And I think you'll spin a little issue out of that for the foreseeable future.
Okay. And all right, what's the coin say, Alex?
Coin says Shida.
Okay, wow, 3 Shidas and a Toni. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Sounds like a movie.
So next we have the trios match between Adam Copeland, Sting, and Darby Allin versus the Patriarchy. The coin has Copeland's trio going over. I think it makes more sense for the Patriarchy to go over, because then you can almost have a recurring feud with this group and Sting, trying to retire him. So, the next match, if we beat you again, we're going to retire you, sort of thing. So I can see that being a recurring thing going into it Revolution, because That way, Sting can give the rub to Darby Allin that much more. Nick Wayne, like they can give, and even Luchasaurus to some extent. You've got Copeland, Christian, and Sting, like three incredibly respected veterans, pushing these other three guys, arguably to the moon, just from being in constant matches with them, like a long running feud. And while I'm aware Ric Flair's going to be there, I don't think he's going to be a factor in anything at all. But we know that Sting is going to retire at some point. Yeah. You know, like by Revolution, he's going to be retired. So I think the way to build tension toward that is to almost have the big feud blowout at the pay-per-view before, and then at Revolution, he can say, hey, I want a singles match with Darby to really see which one of us is better, or something like that. You know, I feel like you can almost have a much more friendly competition match at that point than we're going to retire you here.
I think Darby's going to be a heel by Revolution, and with the Patriarchy taking on Sting. And I think he's going to take on Sting in the Surfer gimmick is how Sting's going to go out for his final match.
Wow.
That's a throwback.
Surfer Sting in the final match. Why didn't you say like a Blade Runner Sting in the final match? Like I'd go all the way back to that. But
yeah, absolutely.
So wait, so who are you picking, Joe?
I'm gonna go with Patriarchy as well. Adam Copeland. I mean, he pains me so much right now watching what is going on with him on AEW. He's just not setting the world on fire. It's not his fault. It's just, I don't know. I think, let me see who would take the fall for this. Probably Darby Allin would take the pin. And I think the Patriarchy wins. I think Christian's got something going here. I think for all the reasons that Alex said, I think it could lead to the next time we beat you, you're going to be retired or whatever. But I think the twist will be that Darby will be with the Patriarchy by then.
I think Patriarchy takes it also. I'm gonna go. I think we're all in agreement on this one for various reasons. I think also we have to keep in mind they are now building to next month's pay-per-view.
Yeah,
it is not a slow burn time for storylines anymore. When you start doing pay-per-views on the regular every month to 2 months, so I think they might have saved a turn for a while later. But I think something's going to happen in this match. I think Christian's got too much momentum. You need to spin off into the Copeland Christian match, which will probably be at the end. I think you can have a happy ending with Sting this early in the story. You got to give him some adversity. So he's got to, maybe Sting takes the loss, honestly, in this one.
I actually think it'd be more interesting for Sting to take the loss to Luchasaurus.
It really would be interesting if Sting and listen, that's what you do on your way out. Put guys over, right?
Yeah, you do favors. Yeah.
You put guys over when you're on your way out.
And I think it's interesting.
Unless you're Edge. But, you know.
Yeah, well, like, I think this is interesting in this case where we know Sting will not be in the ring past Revolution.
Absolutely.
Right. Like, it's an interesting take because it's not like when you have, he's admitted it in kayfabe that he's not going to be there past his time. Whereas when you have like Edge leaving, no one really knows. Well, your contract's running out. Is this your last match? Can't be because you beat Sheamus.
Well, no, Sting's going off the Great Muta's retirement tour, right? Yeah. Like that's the 1-to-1 comparison. And Muta lost a whole bunch on that retirement tour.
Yeah. But again, that's what you should be doing.
You should be putting over the guys, yes.
Yeah. All right. So next match is
funny how we calling him Edge. We just can't get used to calling him Adam Copeland.
No,
I'm calling him Adam Copeland. When I refer to his WWE time, he's Edge, but his post WWE, he's Copeland. Period.
It's so hard. This is the Bryan Danielson thing again for me. It took forever to like shift gears and get Brian.
It's funny. I keep calling him Bryan Danielson whenever I was thinking about him in WWE because I knew him more as
Sure.
From AEW. So, anyway, so Orange Cassidy and John Moxley.
Ooh. Okay. Can I take this one?
Yeah. Before you do, the coin thinks John Moxley's going to win.
Okay. OC all the way. OC needs it big time.
I agree. OC
needs to shut down Moxley. It will do nothing for the Blackpool Combat Club to have this belt as the prop. OC has elevated this thing to an actual tier title that you care about.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I got to say, listen, the time for OC to lose it for me would have been Claudio, and they had what could have been one of the matches of the year. So I don't see Moxley will put on a good show. I hope Moxley doesn't cripple him. And I go with OC all the way. It's needed.
OC wins this one. They have the rubber match with a stipulation at World's End next month.
Okay.
See, I actually think that you're going to see Moxley take this one and then OC win it back. Because I think that was I feel like Tony Khan has gone from the Moxley got injured and dropped the belt early.
Yeah.
The plan was always to have like a rematch with Orange Cassidy taking a title from Moxley. I think you're going to see that at World's End, and it's because like they set it up in on Dynamite where Moxley just shrugged off the orange punch. So
Which
I
was
think
a great spot.
It was fantastic, and I think you're going to see, you're going to see more of that. Like these two. I think this is going to probably be match of the night between these two.
I agree.
I think you're going to see an absolute phenomenal masterclass in storytelling and wrestling, and I think that you're going to see John Moxley get the Bulldog choke on Orange Cassidy. Cassidy's not going to tap out, which is what's going to set up, I think, some kind of submission match for the final stipulation. Cassidy won't tap out, but he physically won't be able to continue. It will be stopped either by referee stoppage, and you'll see John Moxley walk away with the title. He can go through defending it for a bit. Cassidy can really have a more struggle where he's starting to find out, wait, who am I without this title? And he moves away from the a bit more of the laissez-faire attitude, and then come World's End, you see him take the title back. I would rather see Orange Cassidy in the mix for the world title, and I think he's very close to that.
Though. It's too crowded.
It's way too crowded up there. Yeah,
he's not getting into that until the new year, which is why I think he wins this, and then maybe he actually loses it at World's End to Moxley.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Right.
And then you see Orange Cassidy in 2024 kind of on that journey towards a world title program with whoever takes the belt from JF.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. All right.
I'm annoyingly still going with Mox because he was my first gut feeling on this, but I think I prefer the Orange Cassidy winning and then losing the rubber match. Like I feel like that's a better story. I feel like I should. Anyway, I've already put Mox down. So next we have the Golden Jets versus the.
Wait. Didn't you skip Hangman Page?
No, I have that next because I think
next? Okay.
Well, no,
Sorry.
It might not be next according to Wikipedia.
Right.
Because I did skip it, but when I was doing the list, I put it in the wrong place.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sorry. We a little peek behind the curtain, listeners. I thought we were all going off the same list, and I just screwed it up. So my apologies.
No, that is okay. Doesn't matter who we go off next.
I'm going off no list. I'm driving, so I'm going to take whatever order you guys say.
All right. Hangman Page and Swerve Strickland.
Swerve. It's his house, baby.
I actually think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Hangman.
Okay.
For no reason.
Yeah, so I don't really have a horse in this race.
That's my problem too, Alex. I have no horse.
So much I can't stand Hangman. You guys don't like.
I love Swerve's evil character. but
Yeah.
the way the story is going, I just feel that Hangman is more likely to take it. Because didn't Swerve win the first match, or did Hangman win? Yeah, so I feel like Hangman is more likely to take it from that aspect, and then you can have the rubber match.
I don't want a rubber match.
I
just don't think Swerve needs to win. Like he's not a heel where a win.
Yeah.
His character requires a win in order to keep going. He's he's a psychopath now, right?
Yeah.
He's a manipulator. Like those kinds of heels don't have to win the feud. They've already done their damage along the way and got a win in that sense. And I think they are actively trying to rebuild Hangman Adam Page for something bigger. So I think Adam will take. Plus, like Swerve invaded the man's home. Like you can't let that guy win.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a Texas Death favors Hangman, given the last time
match.
he right. Like I think Hangman has this. I think it's going to be damn good though.
This could actually be the match of the night. This is one of my dark horse picks for match of the night.
I'm looking at the card. I'm excited for every single one of these except for one, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
And it's not even that I'm not excited. Anyway, so next we have Jets and the Young Bucks.
The Golden Jets and the Young Bucks. Who wants to take this?
I feel like you're going to see the Young Bucks fully turn heel in this. I just, oddly enough, this is the one I think the least excited for in terms of anything. Because I like Jericho, I like Omega. I think I actually really enjoy the dynamic between the two.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy the Young Bucks style of wrestling.
I'm sick of the Bucks, period.
And I think I'm more interested in seeing them turn heel to see what they can do, because I feel like they've been on the verge of that for quite some time. I appreciate that they're very good at what they do. It's just I find that you see a lot of the same stuff in their matches. Like,
are they very good at what they do? I've never been convinced. But that's
they're very athletic.
I'm turning the doorknob and walking out than anything, but
Yeah, like it's just one of those things where I'm like I'm sure it will be an interesting match, but I think it's going to be good because of the Golden Jets are able to elevate anyone they're in the ring with.
Agreed.
I think.
So who are you going with?
I'm going with the Jets because I think the Young Bucks had a win on.
Gotcha.
On something the other night, and that's usually a good indication where.
Yeah, the rule of opposite momentum.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Jets.
What's the coin say, Alex?
The coin said the Jets. So right now,
I'll tell you what. I'll take the Young Bucks for no other reason than to cover the spread, because truly, I don't care about this match in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I think this is the least exciting.
I would have been happier if this had been on the pre-show, and either Eddie and Jay or Claudio and Buddy would have been further up. The only reason
should have been on the main show, and this should have been on the pre-show.
The only rean MJF and Joe should be on the pre-show is to give him time between matches.
Absolutely.
The ROH title.
Well, yeah,
and it's for the ROH titles.
That's
0 hour is ROH.
Basically,
Sidebar, please. I've been trying to squeeze this in the past 2 matches. Do you know who showed up at ROH?
Oh yeah, Ronda Rousey is now
in
ROH or in AEW, so to speak.
Yeah, there are rumors Tony Khan has signed a superstar who's well known to people.
But is it her or is it Mercedes Moné tonight?
Or
is it not Mercedes?
It's not Mercedes, you don't think?
No, it's Will Ospreay.
His contract doesn't end until February, does it not?
When does that stop him from signing a New Japan talent?
Yeah, but
touche.
It doesn't think Tony Khan's going to sign Will Ospreay. That's like, a no-brainer. Like,
no, you know what? It actually isn't. Will Ospreay is, I think, after Kenny Omega, or since Kenny Omega signed, Will Ospreay is the #1 soon-to-be free agent in the world right now. Because anyone who doesn't think that MJF hasn't already signed a deal is
definitely signed a deal, 100%.
right. So Will Ospreay is the next top free agent. I would be shocked if he doesn't go to AEW, because the travel, like everything I've seen him say in interviews, the schedule is
what he wants.
Right. He can still live in the UK and fly out weekly. He's still allowed to go to New Japan. Like you see Kenny in New Japan all the time.
Yeah,
like everything about AEW fits what I understand about Will Ospreay.
Absolutely.
No, it's 100% conducive. No, I just think it's such a known thing that he's most likely going to AEW that it's not news. And the way it's being presented, I think it's Ronda or Mercedes.
I just don't.
I think the
don't
news.
Know, like.
See, my thought is he has said that his deal ends in February, like February, March. It's well known that that's what he's been saying. I think the news is that Tony Khan has bought out his contract and signed him early. And
there you go.
And I'll explain more on this because I don't want to skip 2 matches.
Yeah, okay.
I think
the
I don't
next match
think it's Ronda, because if it was Ronda, then why the hell would you let her debut and know it's going to get out everywhere the night before?
Right.
That would completely deflate the announcement, it feels like.
Yeah. I feel like Ronda has signed, but I think Ronda
she wants to buddy up with her friend. Like the whole point is to tag with Marina and do what she wasn't going to be able to do in WWE, because Marina is absolute garbage.
I feel like you're going to see Ronda show up, but it won't be the major announcement that it should have been.
Should have been a humongous announcement. Yeah. Ronda's the top tier. More Ronda, please.
I think if Ronda shows up, that's when you might start seeing. You might look at getting a women's tag title finally.
No.
No. Do we need one?
Do we need all of the ROH belts? I think if you start dropping the ROH titles from AEW TV, then you have room for a women's tag title. Anyway, so leading into this, we have the next match on the Wikipedia list is Chris Statlander, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue.
Julia Hart. I think Julia Hart.
I think Julia Hart is pinning Sky Blue.
I am betting the house on Julia Hart winning this.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is it a Black House?
I'm betting Swerve's house.
Fair. Yeah.
I'm betting Black House.
Yeah. See, so are we all in agreement that Julia Hart is taking this? Because the coin says Sky Blue.
God, she has got to be the most improved in that roster.
Yeah, because I think this is a time where you can start seeing Statlander go after the Shida.
Yes.
Or whoever the champion is there. And then you have, because Statlander is better than the mid card, but
much better.
Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Willow, that's going to be a really interesting 3-way feud. And this removes Statlander from that. And if she doesn't get pinned, it keeps her strong.
Yeah, okay, I can go with that. I say Julia Hart just because it's her time. You know.
I agree.
Julia Hart is a star on the rise.
Mm-hmm.
People are talking about timeless Tony Storm. They're sleeping on Julia Hart. Julia Hart is the actual meteor rise right now in the women's division.
100% agree. 100% agree.
All right.
Like her facial expressions are astounding. So the next match we have is the 4-way ladder match between.
What did the coin say though about Julia Hart?
It says Sky Blue. It was a random number generator for that one. And
the coin's an idiot.
Watch the coin be right, and we all take it on the chin in that one.
Yeah, like I don't think Statlander's walking out with it, so I think reasonably it's a 2-way split between Hart and Blue. Anyway.
Okay.
You have the next one is Ricky Starks and Big Bill, the tag team champions, versus La Facción Ingobernable, Rush and Dralistico, versus FTR and the Kings of the Black Throne, which is Malachi Black and Brody King, the final 2 members of the House of Black.
Okay, I love FTR. We all know this.
Yeah.
But I'm strangely enjoying Big Bill and Ricky Stark.
I think Big Bill and Ricky Starks are going to take it, but I would much rather see. I don't think FTR needed at this point, and I think I think a 4-way ladder match is a great way to have them not, because no one loses a ladder match, right? No one takes a pin in a ladder match.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great way of getting them to have their rematch without actually losing it. It puts them back in that work our way up conversation. I feel like the faction Ingobernable and the Kings of the Black Throne are basically going to nullify each other. And I think Big Bill and Ricky Starks are going to almost sneak out with a win. Like, I don't think they're going to earn it so much. I think they're going to sneak out with the win.
Yeah, I agree. I think Starks and Big Bill keep. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's time yet for that story to take a hard turn yet. So I agree with you. I think Starks and Big Bill take it because it would be the thing that the crowd wants the least.
Yeah.
And you can keep building heat from them for whenever they're going to actually lose it.
Because I would love to see the House of Black or the Kings of the Black Throne take it. I think that would be fantastic. I don't think they need it, and I don't think FTR need it. And the faction Ingobernable with Rush and Dralistico, right? Like,
cares?
I love it, Matthew.
Like the three in that faction with Preston Vance are so interchangeable as a tag team. In that, I just don't think it makes any sense for them to win.
So nondescript. They suck.
Yeah, I think Rush is fantastic.
I don't like fantastic. He went to the wrong company, in my opinion. But he's, oh my god, no, he would. This is Ricky Starks and Big Bill's match to lose. Let's put it that way.
I think if it isn't Starks and Bill, then the coin's got it, or the number generator's got it right. It's going to be the Kings of Black Throne. I don't think it makes any sense for FTR to win it, and I don't think it makes any sense for LFI to win it.
Yeah, FTR doesn't need it right now as much as I love them.
So you're Starks and Bill
going
too,
to jail,
right?
So you don't want to put it on him. But Tony doesn't care, so who knows?
Yeah, that's right. So he gets a double champ. All right, what's next?
He's got to turn it into the guy at the prison. He has to give his belts in.
So next we have MJF versus Switchblade.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. All right.
I will cut to the chase. I have MJF taking this. The coin has Jay White.
MJF. You can't build a champion with 7 fucking challengers. Excuse my language. And expect me to believe he's going to lose before that payoff.
Exactly.
Like I think if they hadn't had Jay White
in the moment.
See, I think if they hadn't had Jay White walk around with the belt, I would actually have been more likely to believe it could happen.
Yeah, I agree. The fact that they had him walk around with it and cuck MJF for about 8 weeks shows me that he's not taking it. And it's a good way for Jay White to be like, hey, you want to feel what it's like to walk around with that belt? All right, you get to walk around with that belt for a while. He is not taking it.
And this is also why I think you're going to see MJF and Samoa Joe win the ROH titles, is because it leaves the Bullet Club Gold with nothing after going after MJF so much. But I think that the only reason MJF retains the ROH titles is Samoa Joe. There is no other way he's going to do that. I think Joe is going to do the lines. Well, yeah. Like, I think Joe is going to do the lion's share in that match because it's Samoa Joe, and that will really put over just how much more formidable he is compared to MJF.
So the wrinkle of Samoa Joe relinquishing the ROH television title and Billy,
excuse me.
Yeah, I know.
Still makes me nauseous to think about that.
That what is he, 565 days or 67 days, and he just throws it down because Tony Khan's a moron? Like, so awful.
I'm bored of this title. Goodbye. Like, what the hell?
He should have lost it to Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Yes, he should
Yeah.
have.
That's what should have happened, and it should have been a very hard-fought match, and he should have lost it to Keith Lee.
I'm just saying, the person who got screwed the most out of that whole affair is Keith Lee. Keith Lee looks like a goober. He looks so ineffectual. He looks so I don't know that there's a bigger bust in wrestling in the last 10 years than Keith Lee, to be perfectly frank.
No.
Really, truly.
Got that push and then nothing.
Look, I think MJF takes it. I think the devil might actually help MJF win this, and then the devil reveals who is under the mask, and I think we're setting up some kind of like a gauntlet match at World's End with Wardlow and Joe and whoever's in the devil's mask, and Jay White comes back for it again, and throw Hangman Page in there. Why the hell not? Or it's like all the ghosts of Max's past, right?
I think you're gonna
not Hangman Page, please.
I think you're gonna see who is in the devil mask, and I think it's gonna be conveniently revealed to be Will Ospreay.
Could be.
Because I think this is an immediate way to put Will Ospreay in the world title picture, because he deserves to be there. He is absolutely good enough to be there. I think you're going to see the end of this thing is Will Ospreay ending up in the title picture. Do I think he'll challenge Max at World's End? I keep saying World's End. No, it is World's End.
It's World's End.
I keep thinking it's Wrestle Dream. Anyway, like, do I think he'll challenge him there? No, because there's so many other feuds to pay off. But I think that we're leading into Max dropping the belt to someone, and I think it's going to be at Revolution or somewhere. Like the bidding war of 2024 storyline just seems to be completely and utterly right. Like it's mostly dropped at this point.
If anyone doesn't believe that he is signed by Tony Khan at this point, I have a bridge for you, because
listen, we all know Max is going to debut at WrestleMania to help Cody Rhodes win the title from Roman.
Oh my God, I would mark the fuck out.
Do you know what? Like, I would laugh so fucking hard if MJF not only debuted but took the belt from Roman. I would laugh so fucking hard. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think MJF, and I think this is your match of the night. And I'll be honest, because Jay White's a phenomenal talent, and MJF just gets better. He is the match of the night just about every pay-per-view he's on when he's the main event. He's unreal how fucking good he is. It's insane how good he is. Him and Omega had one of the matches of the year for sure on Collision.
Yeah, and it was a free match, just like, oh shit, Omega's title reign's coming up, and we haven't had them go at it together. Like I know we were talking earlier about the WCW route of we'll just throw two guys together that can work together.
Yeah.
That was
it.
But it had enough of a story to it where Kenny Omega's like, I want to defend my streak, and MJF is like, fine, let's go, because he's no longer the heel anymore, so he will take challenges.
Listen, personally, I think MJF is on his way out. I don't believe he's re-signed.
Really?
Yes, because there is literally nothing left for him to do other than the Adam Cole angle. That is it. That's true. All there is to do. I think he has done everything he can possibly do in AEW. I think he wants to be at the biggest show that there is, which is WWE. I think he wants to be part of the show that he grew up on that made him a fan. I think he wants the challenge. And I think Max understands you go when you're on top. You don't wait to be an afterthought. But
that's fair. That is fair.
He will have literally beaten every single human being that he possibly could by the time his contract on December 31st is up. And I think the name World's End is not a misnomer. I think that he will make somebody at World's End with the title.
Yeah, that's fair.
And you can debut in WWE during WrestleMania season if he signs.
You can very, very.
Because he could debut in the Royal Rumble.
He could debut in the Royal Rumble. Can
Oh
you
my
imagine what happens if he and CM Punk are in the Royal Rumble at the same time?
Oh, fuck.
Stop it, Matthew.
And
was gonna
Cody,
pull over
all
and
three of them
myself.
together?
Yeah. I
Dude,
feel
I
like
almost had to pull
MJF would be a
over
bigger get for
for a second.
WWE than CM Punk, honestly, at this point.
I think MJF is the biggest single get WWE could possibly. I think MJF is a bigger get than Cody, if
Mhm.
they can get. And I think they would rather get MJF than Will Ospreay. If they're going to shell out the money, it would be on MJF, not on Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because MJF
Okay.
is more known to a US audience.
MJF is also
Yeah.
younger
Yeah.
and less hurt, and he can talk in a
Yeah.
way that Will Ospreay. Oh, Ospreay's a good promo, but I think MJF is a better fit.
He's better than Will Ospreay. I'm sorry.
I agree.
There's no fucking yo, bro. Hey, bro. You know, I mean, I like Will Ospreay a lot, and he's supremely talented in the ring. But in the land of the WWE, the microphone is king. And yeah, listen, you need the whole package.
Max
And-
could be emperor in WWE.
Man, he really could.
If
but
he
my
wants to
worry
make
is-
the most amount of money and build the biggest legacy possible, he
Yeah,
needs to go into the major leagues. And this is the time to do it when he is literally beaten. And he could go back to AEW in 3 years or 5 years or what have you.
You're right.
He
I-
absolutely could.
Yeah,
But
that,
he
the thing
needs
is,
a
I
break from
think that
AEW.
this is a time. It's a great time for wrestlers because they have two very viable promotions to go between.
Very viable. Yeah.
I feel that while yes, you had TNA back in the day, it doesn't seem to be as like there's
TNA
AEW.
was never nothing, man.
No, like you have AEW action figures, you have all of the things. You've got like Chris Jericho in it. You have
Yeah.
right, like
Agreed.
you have so much more than TNA ever could offer.
Oh, that's not true though. TNA in 2008 had Kurt Angle and Kevin Nash and Sting.
And
You had the
Booker
main event
T.
Mafia. TNA had a great roster at one point.
Right.
I think we were sleeping on how good of a roster they had at one. They had a better roster than we arguably in 2008.
Respect.
I really do think they did it for its time, but they never had this kind of momentum. They also never had $100 million at their whim for backing either.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. It's the backing.
It comes down to money.
Matthew,
Yeah.
do you remember the main event Mafia promo in the back when it was first coined? When Kurt Angle's sitting there like sifting his brandy, and you got Booker T sitting with Sharmell, and he would go like in and out of the accent, like through that whole run.
Oh, so good.
Like, in my country. Then the next week he'd be like, "What's your problem, sucker?" Like,
So wait, just real quick. So we're all picking MJF?
God, yeah.
Everyone but the coin. Yep.
All right, there we go.
All right. So unfortunately, we were going to do a double header, but I'm about to arrive at my destination. But also, just wouldn't be time to do it justice. Matthew, are you down for a next week, or is it not feasible?
If y'all will book me for the return match, absolutely, I'm down.
Oh yeah.
Could we do a Friday night return match since the pay-per-view is next Saturday?
I think I could make that work.
Ooh, I like
mean, yeah. No matter what happens, the show is going to come out. I think after the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay. All right, then we can just go as regularly scheduled and just see how we did, like type of thing. Because I'm very excited for the Survivor Series card.
I'm so hyped for Survivor Series. It's not.
Yeah,
even...
But this gives me a week to get hyped for Survivor Series because I have no idea who's on my card.
Oh my gosh, dude! The War Games match is gonna be unreal. It's gonna be
Matthew,
unreal.
One thing before I head off, is Drew part of the Judgment Day or just like a loose affiliation?
We're gonna find out on Monday.
Ooh, what do you think? Because I think he's perfect for it.
I think he will join Judgment Day for as long as he can use Judgment Day. And I think this is how you get rid of Damian Priest.
Yeah.
You're gonna get rid of Priest, and you're gonna sub in Drew McIntyre to be the heavy.
Yep.
I think Drew McIntyre's heel turn has been one of the best things in wrestling for the last couple of months.
Can
What a
Damian Priest
great
cash
long
in on
story.
Seth Rollins during War Games?
Of course.
I think it absolutely could happen because it could be any time, any place. It does not matter. I think if you're going to crown Damian, Survivor Series is a great time to do it.
Yep.
I think it solidifies Survivor Series as still one of the biggest shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives Rollins a reason to be in the Rumble in January and have like one of the biggest Royal Rumbles in history with all those guys. Because I still think there's an argument to be made that it's Cody, Seth, Roman at Mania 40.
I would love it. I just don't
think it's still possible. And you see it could start building between Seth and Cody in War Games if something goes wrong, right?
I gotta say that. Yeah, and then like I said, I keep saying I'm gonna do this and then not leave. But Roman has to be on TV more for this to. He has to be. The show
he will be, but not until Rumble. He'll be on. Yeah. He'll be on January through Mania. That's when he'll be on TV more.
The SmackDown is just meh right now. Last night it was just so barren. I was just like, eh. Like, we need Roman on that show. But LA Knight's doing what he can. Solo, all that stuff. But the War Games angle, ooh, sign me up. This has been so good. And I like how Adam Pearce is, like, losing his shit. Like, it's just been really good. And I think there's a lot to tell with it. So
let's just be very clear, guys. One day, we're going to have Adam Pearce versus Nick Aldis in a battle of two of the most significant NWA champions of the 21st century is going to happen on WWE television.
Dude, it's going to happen. Glorious. It's going to happen for something like GM ownership or like, total GM ship of something. I think
we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, that's for next week's show. This is Full Gear's time. Full Gear is going to be great. AEW doesn't put on crappy pay-per-views. No matter what the paper says, it's going to be a great show. There's going to be a lot of good wrestling on there. Even the matches with meh build, and there are a few, are still probably going to over-deliver when it comes bell to bell. I think there's a lot of great storylines to come out of this show. World's End is not far away. So I think that there is plenty of excitement for AEW in this show.
It's the season for wrestling.
'Tis the season.
All right. Well, guys, this has been awesome. Matthew, once again, thank you. Don't turn it into the Matthew and Alex show before I get back.
Ooh, do you hear Joe's insecurity, Alex?
I do. I do sense that.
Wow.
Yeah, so good too. Even it sounds good, the Matthew and Alex show. So gonna have to keep a thing on that. But
first of all, it would be the Alex and Matthew show. Let's be very clear.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Matthew and Alex show. But all right. You guys have a great one. Alex will be texting, of course. Alex, are you watching it? Because I don't know if I'm watching it yet, since it's just so far from where I can find it here.
Are we talking about War Games, or are you talking about Full Gear?
No, we're talking Full Gear, and then
I will not be watching it live, but I will try and I'll watch it before the next show.
Okay. All right. Well, you gents have a great day. I'll send you any good finds I have, and this was a pleasure.
For me as well. Good. Happy hunting, Joe. I'm excited to see what treasure you unearthed on your excursion today. And thank you both for having me, and I can't wait to come back next week.
More than welcome. And you are, as always welcome.
Let's be very clear. It's the Jam show. It's the Joe, Alex, and Matthew show.
Oh, I do like it. I do like Jam.
The Jam. We are the Jam.
See, now you've got me thinking about Twix bars and peanut butter jam sandwiches, and you can't go wrong with that. It's like a food-based show of.
Alex, you really need to have breakfast, dude.
Alex,
yeah, I might go do that. Folks,
right,
this is as good a time as any for us to sign off. You know where to find us. We will include all of Matthew's info, comic book links, and everything in the show notes. How right were we? You'll know. We'll find out eventually.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.